Hey gang, it's Trucker Ray with you on day 13 of my carnivore diet. I know I gave you an update not that long ago, but I wanted to share what I'm going to be doing for food prep. Now, in the last 13 days, I've been basically eating as much beef as I can, and chicken and eggs and bacon, and of course, cooking a lot of that in butter. Plus roast beef. There I had some pre-cooked roast beef. I cooked up some eggs on my last reset. And I added bacon to that. And when I was in town, I bought some pork belly, and this is it right here. I bought it from a butcher in the neighborhood, and there's 2 kgs of it here, and they're kind of sliced up, very, very similar to what you would see with bacon. So I just found out from my management that I'm not going anywhere until Sunday. Today's Friday, or is today Friday? Yeah, today's Friday, so I got today and tomorrow to do any kind of food prep I want. Now, I don't have a whole lot of room in my freezer, but because this is pork belly, which is very similar, obviously, to bacon, I can cook this up and still put it in my fridge, and I can eat that throughout the week. But I should still be able to find room in my freezer for stuff that I really don't want to eat right away. Because whenever I cook a steak or a pork chop, I want to put a couple of slices of this on, even cooked, because you can still get some of the grease in there, and also it pretty well goes really well with anything. All right, I purchased this Ninja air fryer. It's a 7-in-1. It does air frying, it does preheating, it does it bakes, it does proof, it reheats, dehydrates, and basically you can use it to keep warm. It's a really nice unit. It has a nice big tray like this, and it does have a divider that goes in the middle. I just used it just now to test the circuit outside to make sure that it wasn't going to pop the breaker, and I was able to reheat some chicken for myself for lunch, which did actually a really good job. So as you can see, there's a lot of room in here. You can put a 6-pound chicken in there if you really wanted to, or a good size roast. But we're going to be putting that in here. We're going to lay about 5 or 6 strips. I'm going to follow the instructions. I think it said to put it at 375. I'm going to double check it and do it for about 20 minutes. And then in between that, you open it up and you flip things over. So this is my very first time actually cooking anything. Because this is a dual zone, you can cook either one zone or that zone with the divider. And the divider's right here. So you can actually put the divider in there if you wanted to. But I'm going to use the Mega Zone, which just does everything at once here. So it says you're supposed to preheat at 375. So let's do or is it 400? So I really hope that I think you would want to preheat that for about 5 minutes, I would say. And I'm really hoping that it does not pop the breaker, because we've been having some issues with the breaker. So we'll see what happens. But I do have a backup plan. If the breaker indeed pops it, I do have a generator on board on the RV, and I can fire that thing up and probably do all my cooking without any issue, because it's not going to take a whole lot of fuel to run that generator. Even if I wanted to run it for about an hour, it's not going to take long to cook all that. Maybe an hour, maybe. And then later on, I'm going to cook a steak in there. Might as well. And I'm probably going to leave the existing grease on the bottom of it, where it'll really give that steak some really amazing flavor. So we got about 357, 356 left for preheat, and hopefully she doesn't pop on me. Okay, so I've got it preheated. Yeah, she's warm in there. So one thing that I need to get my cutting board, because I don't want to, well, that's not much of a cutting board, but it's better than nothing. All right, so what I'm going to do is I've taken the drawer out, and right now she's good to go. So let's put some of this stuff in here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these are pretty well thawed, and the nice thing about pork belly, it doesn't take long for this stuff to thaw. So almost could put it sideways like that. Oh man, I wonder if I can do that. I may be able to get away with that. Let's try this. Get a few of them here. Yeah, I may be able to get away with this. So we're gonna end up with a lot of fat on the bottom in here, which is nice because I got a mason jar which I will be collecting all of it. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them in there. We're gonna put that in for 20 minutes. Or actually they say 15 minutes, so I may do it about 15 minutes and then switch it over. So we should probably change this. Let's get this in here. We got it set for 15 minutes. And now we just continue on here. And about halfway through that, we're gonna flip them over. When I was at Walmart the other day, I bought some mason jars. And what I do is whenever I cook any bacon or pork chops or steak, I keep all the grease and I put it in here. Now some might say, oh, that's kind of weird, you're mixing all that different grease together. Grease is grease in my opinion, but a lot of this pork belly grease is going to get dumped right into here, and then I save this and then I use that to grease the pan with butter, of course, if I need butter. Or you even put a little bit of that on top of the food you're cooking, like chicken or steak or pork chops, and it really does create some amazing flavor. That's what I've noticed anyway. Okay, so we're drawing pretty close to 7.5 minutes here, so I'm just gonna pause it, which is really cool about this unit. So let's have a look here. Look at that. So we're just gonna flip these over, and these are actually quite thick. They might actually have to be cooked a little bit longer maybe. So let's flip these. Come on, let go. There we go. Actually, this works out really well this way because they have shrunk a little bit. So, but not much. They may have to be cooked longer. So there we go. Put those back in like that, and we will continue here. So I got a feeling I'm probably going to have to cook those a little bit longer. But we'll see after 7 minutes. We'll see what it looks like. So while we're waiting for that to cook, we got another 4.5 minutes, and I got a feeling I'm gonna have to cook it a little bit longer. I'm gonna take my electrolytes. As I mentioned in a previous video, these are called ocean-sourced Aussie Trace minerals. There's 70 minerals in here apparently. And you only need about 4 or 5 drops of this, and it has a nice convenient little dropper on it. The container itself is squeezable, so this is what I do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just 5 little drops. Potassium, magnesium, all those goodies in there. If I was to name off all the minerals, I could be here a while. I'll tell you one thing though, with this air fryer going in here, it's actually not a warm day out there today. This has totally heated up my camper. It's really warm in here. So that's pretty cool. So it should taste a little like salt. It's really highly concentrate, that stuff. Tastes similar to Gatorade, but without any flavoring. I'm getting used to it already. I can hear it popping in there. I can hear it sizzling. And you know what? I'm really happy with this because this unit is at 400 and it's behaving itself. It's not tripping the breaker outside, and we've had problems with that breaker, so this is really nice. And as you can see, this Ninja brand, it's got three different functions. You can do one zone here, you can do the second zone, or you can do the mega zone, which is the big one. But you can actually bake on one side, air fry on the other side, or heat, or bake, or roast, and keep warm on the other side. So if I was to cook a whole bunch of stuff in here and I wanted to keep it warm in this basket, these separate zones will do that. It's a really nice unit. So I think this one's called the Ninja Foodi F-O-O-D-I Flex Basket Air Fryer. 11, what is it? 7-in-1 or something like that. I like it how it says up to 75% less fat. Well, the more fat, the better. It's so funny. I was in Costco yesterday and I said, I bought some steaks, and the guys, I says, which one's got the most fat on it? He's like, He was just looking at me really funny. He was, oh, I guess these do. I'm like, perfect. And then I told him what kind of a diet I was on. He goes, oh, I understand. I got a lot of people that ask for that. So a lot of people are on the carnivore diet, more than we think. All right, we're down to about 18 seconds here. So I am going to just pause this and have a look, because what this thing does automatically, once it hits the timer, it starts to cool down. Look at that. Wow. Amazing. So different. It's so hard to tell. Is this cooked? One way to find out, maybe try a piece of it. So I pulled one piece out here, and I'm going to have just a little taste of this to see. Let's grab on the end here. Just see how good this is going to taste, whether it's cooked or not. It's definitely cooked. And it tastes amazing. Wow. Not bad at all. Put a little bit of Redmond salt on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these on maybe for another 7 minutes and just crisp them a bit. See if I can get them crispy. So I'm gonna flip them over and I'm gonna just put them on for another 7 minutes. All right, so I have taken out my pork belly and look at this. Look at how amazing that looks. That's about 7-8 minutes each side, and then I flipped it over again and cooked it for another 7 minutes. The smoke started coming out of the vents in the back, so I know it was doing a nice job on making it crispy. Look at how amazing that looks, and it tastes just as good. So I put 4 more strips in there, and then we'll wait for those to cook. In about another 8 minutes or so, I'll flip it over. Okay, friends, the last bit of the pork belly is finished, and I have to admit, this has cooked it beautifully. This is my first. Well, I've used an air fryer before briefly in my truck, but it didn't do so good because of the breaker going on me. Well, look at how nice and crispy that is. So there you have it. That is $30 worth of pork belly from the butcher. I would have to say I probably won't do that again because it's a way better deal if you go to Costco. I mean that's some decent pork belly in there, but I don't think it's worth $20 or $30, maybe 20, but not 30. And I know you can get a way better deal. Look how nice and crispy these turned out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let these get cold, and then I'm just gonna break them in half, put them in Ziploc bags, and this is what I'm gonna snack on when I have a craving when I'm going down the road. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be cooking up a steak next. But what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put this on my cutting board. I'm gonna take out the grill, if I can get it out without it splashing on me. Just like so. It's a little hot. Because I want to get this out while the grease is still hot in liquid form. There we go. So let's see if I can do this without making a complete mess. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. I almost filled up the whole jar. There you go. So I'll put that in my cabinet. Almost looks like moonshine, doesn't it? Put that in my cabinet, and whenever I want to cook with anything, I can use this. So what I have here is I just have regular sandwich Ziploc bags, and I didn't get this recipe for from any particular place, but these are pretty well cooled down now. Look at that, they just break beautifully in two pieces. What a nice little snack this would be. Right on the edge of it, I'm noticing the fat on there is very hard. It's crunchy, so you can chew it. So crack these in half, put them on the plate. Because every once in a while, you know, you're driving down the road or wherever you might be. I mean, if you're not a truck driver, even when you go out, you can have this stuff. Even take it with you. Take it to work. Throw it in your bag if you're doing some exercises, or you stop somewhere and you just feel like a snack. Lots of fat on this stuff too, which is really nice. So I try to figure out how many to put in a bag. You know what? I could put that in a jumbo bag if I wanted. Well, maybe next time. So I'm just going to make a few little bags. That way when I want to grab something I want to just get a little bit of energy from, a little bit of food, I could just grab it like that out of my cooler or out of the fridge, and voila, you got a nice little snack bag. And this way it also disciplines me not to eat as much. Like if I have these all in one big freezer bag, I may end up eating half of them while I'm going down the road. So I'd rather just put a little bit, just enough here to satisfy your hunger. That's not quite there. Actually, you know what? That's going to be about right. There's only about 3 pieces left. So I'll add a little bit more to this one, and then I'll have 4 bags. Okay, so I have cooked my pork belly, and this is what I have here. The remainder, I have 4 bags here. And as I was mentioning before, that does not look like that's worth $30, is it? No. I think next time, definitely, I will go to Costco. Okay, so now that I'm finished that, I am going to make myself an early dinner because I don't know, I just feel like eating something now, and because normally I will eat my meals late in the day because driving and you shut down at 9 or 10. So today I'm going to take advantage of the free day that I have, and I'm going to cook my meal early. And what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a steak. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because I'm going to cook this thing just with a little bit of seasoning and nothing else. I'm not going to put any grease on it. I'm not going to put any butter on it, nothing. I'll do that afterwards. I'll put the butter on afterwards. But I want to see how well this air fryer cooks, this Ninja air fryer cooks here, this steak, and how juicy it will be just simply by throwing the steak on top of the grill like that. So I've already preheated it, and I'm setting this to 390, and it's going to go for about, it preheated for about 5 minutes, so it's going to go for about 17 minutes. And I like my steak well done, so I'm going to flip it over probably within, I don't know, I may let the whole 16 minutes go by, and then I'll flip it over. The actual instructions in the manual say to flip it over after about 10 minutes, but I like mine well done. So we'll see how this works. You know, one thing that I really like about this air fryer, it's so quiet. And I also noticed too, it's got the fins right here. And you can, when you pull this drawer out, you can actually see through it. So it's blowing all of the smoke or whatever it is right out the window. And I am looking forward to using this in the wintertime for food prep because it really heats up my camper. It's so warm in here right now. Okay, we're 6.5 more or less minutes into this, so I'm gonna put a little bit of butter on this. Probably don't need to, but I'm gonna do it anyway. just to add a little bit of extra fat in there, a little bit of flavor. Oh boy, does that ever cook nice. There we go. Okay, we are at 1 minute and 19 seconds left on this side. Well, actually, technically, this is how they say how long you're supposed to cook it. So I'm flipping it. Look at this, it's already, look how tender this is already. Gonna put a little bit of butter on top here. Like I said, this is my first time using this thing with the pork belly and that. Just give me 1 second here. All right, so let's go, say, 10 minutes. I'm guessing that should probably do it. So technically it is about 15 minutes of cooking this at 390 and then flipping it over and doing another 10 minutes to give it a nice, well done. Some people like theirs rare, some like theirs medium rare. I like mine well done. And I know the middle is still gonna be just as juicy, but we're gonna find out soon. Okay friends, looks like my steak is finished. Just gonna turn that baby off. Don't need the hood fan on anymore. And let's see what she looks like. Not bad. So there's not much for grease in there. Now I've already put quite a bit of butter on here, so I don't need to put any more. Just a little bit of Redmond salt on here. And we're gonna give this a try. I normally don't like eating in front of people, and I don't like it when people eat in front of me, especially if I'm not eating. But I gotta try this to let you guys know how good this turned out. You can get some of that fat in there too. Oh, that's pretty good. Wow. Way to go, Ninja. That's one killer steak. Well, friends, just wanted to share with you my first experience with the Ninja. It's a really nice unit too, actually. For those of you that want to know, it's called the Ninja Foodi, F-O-O-D-I. Flex basket, air fryer, multi-zone, 7-in-1. Not a bad little unit. You may want to, I'm not sponsored by anybody, but I'm telling you something, when a product works really well, I don't mind saying it. So I'm going to sit back and finish my steak and relax, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye for now.